Alright, what is going on everyone, Doozy here. So Bungie just released their developer update for Destiny 2 where they talk about certain changes coming and how they plan to improve the game from things like dealing with Eververse, Masterwork Armor, a better mod system, ranked PvP, raid rewards, and a lot more. So there's actually a lot that we need to talk about in this, so I guess let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first off, they start out by discussing the content categories for Destiny, and they say one thing we want is to set a clear expectations for which categories of content are available to everyone each season, and which are exclusive to Destiny 2 expansions. So they say expansions are purchasable updates that typically add new story, destinations, and gear, as well as new Crucible, Strike, and Raid Layer content. And then they state that seasons introduce content that is made available to all players of Destiny 2 at no additional cost. They also have a little image of post-launch content that depicts of like what comes with the expansion seasons as well as Eververse. And then this is actually pretty interesting. So they said Iron Banner, faction rallies, and their rewards will be available to everyone as part of Season 2. Additionally, going forward, we are making a change that a new seasonal rewards from Crucible, Strikes, and Trials of the Nine will be available to all players. So I actually think that's really good, unlike, previous expansions and DLCs. For instance, like the Taken King, if you didn't have that DLC, you couldn't get any of the weapons or the Iron Banner armor or anything like that. So I think that's a good step. But then right after that, one of the first major things they address is Eververse. I guess they're trying to go ahead and get this out of the way. So they say, we recognize that the scales are tipped too far towards tests at the moment, and the Eververse was never intended to be a substitute for in-game content and rewards. So we'll be making 3 changes for the upcoming seasons. So the first one is we're shifting the balance of new content in favor for activity rewards over Bright Ingrams. This includes adding ghosts, sparrows, and ships to achievement reward pools. Second, we'll provide a gameplay path to earn Bright Ingrams and all contained rewards. So I think that's a really good step. And then last, it says we'll give players a more direct purchase options and make adjustments to Bright Ingrams to allow players to get the items that they want more often. So it is good that they're addressing Eververse. I don't think we need to be quiet about it right now though. People need to keep expressing their opinion that they don't think so much should be added into Eververse. If I can just give my personal opinion here, I didn't really mind Eververse in Destiny 1 because all you got was like some emotes. Every now and then you could get the certain shaders they would add. And then like for Age of Triumph, we had certain armor pieces that were kind of cool that were added to it. I didn't really mind it in Destiny 1, but it's definitely went way too far in Destiny 2. But it is good that they're addressing it. And after that, they say we've begun implementing these changes for the Crimson Days event beginning February 13th, with even more changes on the way in Season 3. So they say completing Nightfall, Raid, and Crimson Days milestones during the Crimson Days will reward you with an exclusive legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow respectively, and players will earn double Ingrams at level up, so 1 Crimson Ingram and 1 Illuminated Ingram for the duration of the event, so that is a really good step right there too. And it also says Crimson Ingrams can also drop from completing the Crimson Days match and from completing the Crimson Days milestone on each character. And lastly, each Crimson Ingram is very strongly weighted to new rewards when decrypted until all new event items have been obtained. I honestly really wish that would have been added for the Dawning as well. That way I could have got some of those armor pieces. Then they touch a little bit on XP rates where, they say they're still discussing the changes to the XP earn rates. They really didn't go over too much there, so it's not anything major. But then for their feature roadmap, they say there are 3 releases that we want to put on your radar right now. Later releases will get more specific dates as they get closer. And it says the following content and features will be available to all Destiny 2 players regardless of expansion ownership. So it has the January 30th update, and it has Masterwork Armor. So a lot of people are really excited about this. It was one of the first things a lot of people noticed as well. So it says, we're expanding the Masterwork system to include armor. Masterwork Armor provides increased damage reduction while using your super, and you can reroll armor stats on Masterwork Armor, and similar to Masterwork weapons, you can upgrade a piece of armor to Masterwork by spending Masterwork cores and legendary shards. So it didn't really tell us too much there, except for, we get increased damage reduction when we're using our super. And I'm really excited that we can actually reroll the armor stat though. That way I can, finally have some hunter armor that doesn't have all mobility. But I really hope they can expand on this and add more than just that. I'll probably make another video discussing this as well, but that is a step in the right direction in my opinion. But then after that, another major one that has me pretty excited is the Raid Reward Rework. It's a tongue twister there. But they say we're updating raid rewards to make them more unique and interesting. They will now feature mods and raid specific perks. So finally we're getting some raid specific perks back. And we are adjusting the rewards to ensure a raid item drops from each major encounter. The raid vendor will also directly sell Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchase with raid tokens and legendary shards. I don't really know why they added that, but I guess that's pretty good. Then it also says we are adding a new ghost with raid specific perks that has a chance to drop from the Leviathan and Eater of Worlds final encounter. We intend to return to creating more more raid and other activity unique rewards in the future. So hopefully that includes strike specific loot. I hope they bring that back as well. And speaking of strike specific loot, that actually leads to the next topic, which is strike scoring. So the following things will be coming in the February update. So first off is strike scoring as well as high score tracking. Strike scoring is coming to the Nightfall and replacing the current time limit mechanic, which I'm actually really happy about. Wasn't a too big fan of that, but it says the scoring is similar to Destiny 1 system, but with adjustments to emphasize competitive execution of strike objectives and support for players' selectable score modifiers. In February, Nightfall high scores will be exposed in-game via new emblems and will unlock rewards. We also have plans for clan and community high scores in the works. So I know a lot of people have wanted this for the longest time, so of course that is a good addition there. But then they say mods 2.0, so work is underway on a full rework of armor and weapon mods. This will focus on reducing redundant mods, more unique theming, and greatly increasing their impact on your power. It says we are aiming for a February release, but the scope of the rework could push parts or all of it out to early spring. And it says we will be evaluating how mods play into the Bright Ingram economy as a result, because we're sensitive to the pay-to-win outcomes, so that's good that they acknowledge that. And they talk a little bit about quick play improvements, so I mean, didn't really say too much, just we're adjusting game modes and rules to increase the pace of the gameplay, and power ammo acquisition and quick play. So that last part actually is interesting, the power ammo acquisition. So I don't know if they're going to mean like more than one person can finally pick it up again, or if it's just going to spawn in more often. Personally, I hope that more than one person can pick it up. I think that'd be a better choice there, but I don't know. And then they say they're adding a PC tower chat, which is of course good. And then they talk about the exotic repetition reduction. It says this will prevent players from receiving the same exotic twice in a row. You may still receive duplicates, just not consecutively. So that does, that does kind of help. I don't know if that's going to be major, but at least you won't get 2 exotics in a row. But I mean, of course you could still get 1 exotic, open something else, get a different one, and then get the previous one again. That would be kind of crappy, but I mean. And then the last one, this is like a quality of life improvement that is actually going to be really helpful. So that's fire team members on destination map. So you'll finally be able to see where your fire team is. Like if you're in the EDZ and you fast travel somewhere, your friend won't have to ask where you went, or you won't have to tell them. They can just pull up their map and, they can see where you went. So that's a good little improvement there, in my opinion. And then we come to spring 2018. So they talk a little bit about expansion 2 and, how they're taking their time to react to player feedback from Curse of Osiris. That way they can hopefully improve this next expansion. But then they talk about how they're going to improve the Crucible. So first off, they added a Crucible rank. So beginning with Season 3, we will introduce seasonal Crucible ranks. There will be 2 different ranks for players to pursue. So there's Valor, a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches. Winning helps you move up faster, but there's no loss penalties. And then there's Glory, which is a progression rank that goes up when you win and down when you lose. Performance is how you move up here. And then it shows a screenshot of 4 different people with the emblem that I'm assuming you get from these. Except one of the emblems has like a gold outline, and the sword in the middle is gold as well. So I would say that's probably from the Glory one. He also has the highest score out of all the people if you look at their score underneath their power level. So personally, I think this is a step in the right direction, but I don't feel like that's going to be enough to get people to keep playing. I feel like they need to rework certain things and maybe add a few more rewards here and there. I'll probably make another video discussing this, going deeper into this topic. Then after that, private matches. We're getting private matches back. Personally, I don't know why they weren't added in the game since we had them at the end of Destiny 1, but I mean, we're getting them back, so that's good. Then after that, they say they're adding a 6v6 playlist. So we're bringing 6v6 PvP to Destiny 2 in addition to the current 4v4 game modes. So the 6v6, that can go either really good or really bad. If it stays the way the current meta is, or just if PvP stays the way it is, then I don't know if 6v6 is going to help a lot, because I feel like it's still going to result in a lot of team shooting because the slow time to kill, but I mean, it's a different topic. So then after that, they discuss Mayhem. So Mayhem will return as a limited time event during Season 3 and going forward, which I'm personally really happy about. Mayhem is one of my favorite modes. Even in Destiny 1, absolutely loved it. And then they say additional fixes, something about they're going behind the scenes to improve the overall Crucible experience. Kind of vague there, so no idea what they're talking about. Then after that, they kind of discuss, vault space. They're adding 50 additional slots. Hopefully they actually make new tabs to where our weapons and armor are separate like it was in Destiny 1. But I guess it's pretty good that we're getting more vault space. And they discuss how they're improving the Iron Banner and faction rallies, and they kind of gave a vague description of like weapon and ability balance for Season 3 in the sandbox. I still think they need to improve the sandbox because the Crucible, it takes too long for them to change things around, so I don't know if that needs a rework or something, but we need to get updates out faster than, once every few months. Then a few other things. So they say exotic weapon and armor balance pass. So exotic weapons and armor are receiving a comprehensive design pass to ensure that they stand out from the rest of the gear. and offer new, exciting, powerful ways to play, as well as a seasonal reputation, so specific vendors will now display a seasonal rank. They also add a playlist repetition reduction, so you won't play the same Crucible maps or same strikes over and over, which I think is really, really good, because I'm absolutely tired of getting the Exodus strike over and over. Then they also discuss the multi-emote, so they say when multi-emote launches, you'll be able to choose which emote you have equipped to each of your 4 emote slots, and they kind of touch on the in-game player pursuit, and they, they say they agree that the in-game shouldn't be in the bright engrams, and they're making adjustments to shift stuff to more in-game content, which is what a lot of people want. And then one of the last minor things they talk about are heroic strike changes, so finally, they're adding modifiers back to heroic strikes. Once again, I don't understand why they weren't there in the first place, but I mean, it's good that we're getting them back. And then one of the last points is for the fall 2018 or sooner. It says, we're working on a lot more that we're not quite ready to discuss. Expect more on this small sample of items in the future. That's things like item collections and records, weapon slot, and archetype improvements. So this one actually has me really excited. I'll probably make another video on this as well. Then they have additional Crucible playlists, example Rumble, better clan rewards, Masterwork Exotics, pinnacle weapon and gear improvements, Trials of the Nine improvements, shaders and dismantling, the future of guided games, as well as address solo versus fireteam matchmaking. So overall, I feel like there was a lot of good stuff they added to this. I don't feel like this is a 100% improvement to the game, but it is a step in the right direction. They just need to keep it up and, keep being open with the community and have an open discussion and actually listening to what people say. Just a final touch here, I honestly hope that they can get the game back to the state of how it should be, because I'm a huge fan of the Destiny series, absolutely loved Destiny 1. And, I want to be able to love Destiny 2 the same way, so hopefully they can get it back to how things were and maybe even go a step further. We'll just have to wait and see. But, like I said, there were some things in here that I think are a right step. Just they need to keep working on these things and keep moving in the right direction. But anyways, I know that was a lot of stuff, so let me know you guys' thoughts on anything I went over, or some of the points that you noticed that you're actually really excited about, or certain things you may disagree with. Just let me know your thoughts overall. Anyways, guys, I guess that is about it for this video. So as always, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, if you could take a minute to leave a thumbs up on the video, I would appreciate it. And also subscribe if you're new here. And I guess until next time, I will catch you all later.